for enough blessings to make all those challenges and hardships completely worth it. I pray for heavenly wisdom in their words and actions towards each other and divine guidance throughout this journey on earth that they are choosing to spend together. And we pray these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. And now you may be seated. Thank you. Before we get going, we're going to make all the video and all of the photography from today available to everybody. So we ask that people not have devices and be present in this moment. There will be one right here. And this is Elder Macdonald. Hello, Elder Macdonald. The United States says hello to Peru. So he'll be joining us remotely today. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the wedding of my daughter, Shayla Nelson, to my almost son-in-law, Jaxon Macdonald. It was a great honor to be asked by Shayla and Jaxon to officiate this wedding. Some of my words today will have grammatical pauses and pauses for emphasis on certain thoughts and ideas, but I hope you will bear with me, as there are sure to be pauses where I am attempting, possibly sometimes poorly, to work through the words that I have prepared for you today without choking up and tearing up. A little over a year ago, my wife and Shayla's mother, Rashina, and I thought that this is going to be way harder than I thought. I thought that things were moving in a pretty serious direction as far as Shayla and Jackson's relationship went. And we felt like there was a high probability that Jaxon was going to come to me and ask for my blessing in proposing to Shayla. Knowing that young relationships are filled with landmines, Rashina came up with an idea that we give our blessing and we offer to pay for their wedding if they sit down with me once a week for a year. And at the end of that year, they would have our blessing and a budget that would give them a nice wedding. So, Jaxon came to me one Saturday while Rashina and Shayla were out on a girls' outing together. I'm going to move this back. I feel like I'm way too close to you. And after some discussion about why he wanted to marry my daughter, I told him of our proposal and he agreed. Several weeks later, he proposed to Shayla, and as you can see here, she said yes. In the sessions that followed, we talked about and planned out for a wide variety of topics, including what finances in their relationship would look like, where their red lines were. We made plans for how to handle the inevitable conflict that would happen. And we talked about each of their visions of the future so that we could reconcile differences that are sometimes forgotten to be talked about in young relationships. We read the book, The 5 Love Languages by Dr. Gary Chapman, learning that people express and receive love in different ways, and recognizing that communicating to your partner in their primary love language is key to a strong relationship. We learned that the 5 love languages are words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, physical touch. We learned that Shayla's love language is acts of service, while Jackson's is words of affirmation. We learned that understanding and speaking to each other in their primary love languages helps improve communication, reduce conflict, deepen emotional connection. We read the book, The 6 Husbands Every Wife Should Have by Dr. Stephen Craig. This book explores how successful marriages require partners to evolve and adapt throughout the different stages of life. The book outlines the 6 key husband roles, which are the boyfriend, the partner, the warrior, the friend, the manager, and the caretaker. By embracing change and shifting roles together, couples can maintain connection, deepen trust, and thrive long-term. Dr. Craig emphasizes that no man is naturally all 6. The key is to learning when to become each as your relationship changes over time. Throughout my year of sitting down with you two, it has been the honor of a lifetime to have a front row seat to see your ability to work through the inevitable conflict that all relationships deal with grow I'm so proud of both of you. In May, Shayla and I were out on a daddy-daughter date at the Angry Crab Shack, and I asked Shayla how she was feeling about marrying Jaxon. And she told me words that would bring joy to any father's ears. She said, "Mostly I love that we sit on the couch together in the evenings, or we just talk to each other. We enjoy talking to each other, and we have really good, really long conversations with each other. Whenever I ask him to do anything for me, he immediately jumps up to do it and never has a bad attitude about helping. We have conflict, but when it's over, we sit and talk about what happened, and neither of us get mad. We just talk about what happened, and we listen to each other." So tonight, here in front of your family and your friends, I'd like to take this as an opportunity to have our final meeting together before your marriage. Except for this meeting, instead of a three-way conversation like we usually have, it'll just be me giving you my final thoughts, my best wishes, and advice, some of which I was given and I wish I had listened to, but mostly advice that nobody told me, but that I wish I had been given when I was your age. I am not a perfect person who knows how to navigate situations and relationships flawlessly. You guys know that. The collection of information that I am going to share with you comes from my experiences of joy and my experiences of pain. The goal of the words that I am going to share with you is to enhance and amplify your joys and help minimize and, wherever possible, eliminate your pains. Jaxon. I met Shayla when she was almost the same exact age as your guys' son, Opie. I was just a couple of years younger than you are now. I remember a little girl who couldn't sit still, always had to be engaged in some busy activity, loved to smile and loved to laugh, and if not supervised, could get herself into a little bit of trouble. Does that sound like any 2-year-old you know? Shayla and I's first summer together in 2006 was one filled with projects, adventures, and busy days. We established our tradition of daddy-daughter dates that continues 19 years later. She called the Washington State Capitol building in Olympia Abe's Castle. Once we were on a daddy-daughter date and we went up to the Capitol doors and they were locked. Thinking that this was my castle, Shayla said, "Get your keys." As you are well aware, when you become a father, your love for your child fills every nook and cranny inside of your heart. There is nothing that that child could do to dry up that love that you hold in your heart. In our modern world, somehow this love we carry for our children does not always extend to our spouse. But my prayer for you is that you always see her through the same heart lens and the same love lens that I saw 2-year-old Shayla through, and that I still see her through to this day. One where you can't and you won't stay mad at each other when life gets difficult, and that you always come back to that point of heart-melting love that was there at the beginning. I pray that you realize the power that you hold as a husband. It's a steady, grounding power, the kind that protects, provides, and leads with quiet conviction. Your strength, integrity, devotion, and remaining cool under pressure create a foundation where your family can flourish and love can thrive. Shayla, my prayer for you is that you realize the power that you hold as a wife. Your words can lift your husband up to the highest points possible on this earth. You hold the power to make him feel better and more accomplished than any amount of money can supply and any achievement that he could conquer on his own could do for him. A wife holds a quiet, formidable power, the kind that shapes a home, steadies a storm, and strengthens a man's resolve. Your love, your wisdom, your words, and your presence can uplift generations, anchoring your family with grace and unshakable strength. As husband and wife, you will fall short of these roles, as we all do at times. And when we do, we're called to respond with grace, humility, and commitment, not judgment. Marriage isn't about perfection. It is about persistence. It's in the failure that we learn to forgive, to grow, and to come back to our vows not as flawless people, but as faithful partners. The power isn't in always getting it right. It's in choosing each other again after we've gotten it wrong. Many years ago, a widowed elderly man was sitting in the front row of his church when a loud bang happened at the pulpit. Suddenly, Satan himself was standing at the front of the church. Everybody in the church screamed and freaked out, ran, except for this little old man. Satan walked up to the man and said, "Don't you know who I am?" And the old man said, "Yes, I do." Satan said, "Aren't you scared of me?" And the old man replied, "Why would I be scared of you? I was married to your sister for 52 years. So to avoid the love that you two share today, turning into the relationship that little old man felt that he had with his wife for 52 years, let's start today by talking about resentment. It is obvious that him and his wife had plenty of that at play in their relationship. Resentment in a relationship builds slowly, often from unmet, unspoken expectations, emotional injuries, and unresolved conflicts. Over time, love turns into duty, then into bitterness as partners drift apart and stop feeling seen or valued. Without honest communication and intentional reconnection, and I'll repeat that because it's so important to a marriage, intentional reconnection, even the deepest love can harden into resentment. Now, over the years, you guys are bound to have unmet expectations. You will likely have emotional injuries caused by the other. You will have conflicts that you aren't quite sure if or how you will resolve. A long-lasting love is not about avoiding problems, because I've yet to hear one honest assessment of a marriage that has avoided them. It's about facing those problems together. Resentment thrives in silence and assumption, but love grows in vulnerability, truth, kind communication, and compromise. While we're on the subject of resentment, I'd like to bring up an important point. Try not to let resentment take hold over whatever your partner's major character flaw is. The world teaches us that love is finding someone without flaws or finding someone whose flaws we adore. Reality is that love is finding someone whose flaws you forgive, accept, and where possible, help love into change. Every person on the planet has at least one major character flaw. Unfortunately, they usually also have several minor ones. Your job as a spouse is to accept that and make helping them with their flaws be part of your mission as a spouse. Expecting incremental progress over the years, but not expecting full resolution of that flaw while they do the same to help you with your flaws. Expect criticism from your spouse. Expect negative feedback. Sometimes negative feedback charged with emotion, but help that move you forward. Don't let it dig you in where you are, and never let it take you backwards. I'm not speaking of negative feedback charged with emotion. You should always budget for some chaos and for some things to go wrong. In your marriage, don't expect perfection. Expect real life. In my life, I have a personal target percentage of happiness. If less than 20% of things are going wrong, I am killing it. If 20% of things are going wrong, I accept that. Sometimes, on a hard day or in a hard season, up to 30% of things will go wrong. And although I don't like it, I'm okay with it. I accept it because thinking everything is going to go great all the time is the perfect way to set yourself up for constant unhappiness. So I would encourage you to set a personal target. Say 20% for misunderstandings, bad days, and moments of failure. Maybe even allow up to 30% if you're feeling generous. The space is not a sign that you're settling. It's a sign that you're planning to love someone through their humanity. Just like in business or in personal goals, things won't always go as planned. A relationship can hit a major rough patch, just like a project can face a setback, and there will always be a few minor frustrations tagging along. So when things do fall outside of your margin, when you're operating outside of that 70 to 80% happiness range, which is bound to happen from time to time, it's time to stop and pay attention. That's the signal. Don't ignore it. Sit down with each other. Talk honestly. Create a plan to get things back on track. Not with blame, but with the same mindset you'd use as if your business drifted off course. Assess, adjust, and recommit. Course correction isn't failure. It's wisdom. It means you care enough to fix what matters. The key is to plan for the storm, not fear it. Expect flaws, miscommunications, and growing pains. Then, when they come, you won't be shaken. During your journey, be sure to pay attention to what's going right, not just things that you want to correct or change. Never stop dreaming. Never stop setting goals together. Keep building the life that you imagine, whether that means traveling the world, raising a family, starting a business, or simply growing old on a front porch somewhere. Here's the part that too many people miss. As you start to acquire those dreams, as the blessings pile up and the good seasons come, don't forget to stop. Stop and look around. Stop and be grateful. Because without gratitude, even the best things in life will start to feel empty. It is easy to believe that happiness is waiting for you on the other side of some milestone. Once you buy the house, once the next baby comes, once the debt is gone, once things slow down. But the truth is, if you don't practice gratitude while you're building the life of your dreams, you will reach every single milestone, and you will still feel like something is missing. Gratitude is what turns having into enough. It's what transforms ordinary moments into sacred ones. It's what keeps your heart full, even when your hands are tired. So dream big, build boldly, but don't wait until the finish line to be grateful. Be grateful for the laughter and the chaos. Be grateful for each other on the hard days. Be grateful for each other on the boring Tuesdays. Be grateful when you have nothing but each other, and then again, when you have more than you ever thought possible. Because the life that you're building together, it will be beautiful, but it will only feel that way if you remember to be grateful while you're living it. Don't worry, we're almost done. I see you looking at how many pages I have left. I know you guys want to go eat and dance and kiss, and it probably just dawned on you that by giving me this role, you gave me a license to an open-ended monologue, and I don't think you two thought that through very well. As we wrap up, I'd like to leave you with this. The triangle is the strongest shape in structural engineering. A triangle can hold significantly more weight than any other shape because of its rigidness and its ability to distribute forces evenly. This can only happen, of course, if the three sides of a triangle are equal. So I will now leave you with the three biggest points that I'd like to make for you tonight, and remember, for you to remember to live by moving forward. Point 1, be honest with each other. Always. About everything. One of the greatest gifts that you can give to each other in marriage is honesty. Not just honesty about where you were or what you spent, although that is imperative too, but the deeper kind. The kind that says, here's what I'm feeling right now, or here's what I need, or here's what's hard for me right now. Real honesty isn't always comfortable, and it's highly likely that sometimes it's going to anger the other person, but it builds safety, and safety builds trust, and trust is what keeps everything else from cracking when life starts shaking. It is tempting to hold back to protect each other or to avoid conflict, but dishonesty, even the soft kind, will create distance. It will build walls, and eventually those walls will block out the love that you two stand here today with. So my advice is this: tell each other the truth. Gently, respectfully, take a time out if you need to, but always speak to each other truthfully. If you feel the need to lie, don't say anything. Just go sit with yourself for a while and figure out a way to be honest. Be honest when it's beautiful, and even more so when it's not. Point 2. Take the vow you are making here today together seriously. There are, of course, the red lines that we discussed last year, and those should never be crossed. Aside from those few situations, today is about something rare, not merely love, but a decision, a vow, a promise that says, I'm not leaving, no matter what. See, that's what separates marriage from everything else. In a world where almost everything feels temporary, this moment stands out, because in this moment, you're both saying, I know you are not perfect, neither am I, but we're not walking away. And that changes everything. When you know that the door is always open to leave, it is easy to give up. It's easy to avoid the hard conversations. It is easy to stay quiet when something hurts. But marriage shuts that door. It says, we're not running, we're staying. And because we are staying, we are going to work this out. That kind of commitment gives you something that so many people don't have. A solid foundation. The safety to grow. The space to fail and be forgiven. The strength to face even the hard, buried things that will bubble up in life and relationships. And when those hard moments come, and they will come, you will have a choice. You can either figure it out, compromise, compassion, and understanding, or you can spend the next 40 years in a boxing match. Constant tension, constant struggle, constant maneuvering to win, but no one wins that fight. So choose peace. Choose teamwork. Choose in your words and actions to create a relationship that both of you want to live in, not just one that you tolerate. Don't use your strength to overpower each other. Use it to protect each other. That is what lasting love is built on. Now, some people think that keeping their options open is freedom, but real freedom, the kind that makes your soul exhale, comes when you don't have to look over your shoulder. When you know someone is in it with you for good. That is not a trap. That is home. So never forget that this vow is not just about today. It is about every hard day that will come. It's not just about the love that you feel now. It's about the choice you will make again and again to stay, to fix, to grow, and to love, especially when it's hard. Point 3. This is my last point, I promise. Have a solid definition of what love is and do your best to live it. You are a grown adult couple, and I trust that you can find a definition that works for you. But here's my favorite definition, not only because it explains it so perfectly, but because it also gives me something to work on every day. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered, and it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices in the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, and always perseveres. Love never fails. Love is patient. This means love doesn't rush. It gives grace when things don't go as planned. It allows room for growth, mistakes, and understandings. Love is kind. It means love chooses kindness, even when it's easier to be cold or distant. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It means love is secure. It doesn't compete. It doesn't compare. It celebrates the success of the other. It does not dishonor others. It never tears someone else down to build itself up. It is not self-seeking. It means it's not driven by selfish ambition or hidden agendas. It looks out for what's best for the other person and for the family. It's not easily angered. That means love doesn't fly off the handle. It chooses patience and seeks understanding before reacting. It keeps no record of wrongs. This means that love doesn't weaponize the past. It doesn't store grievances to bring up later, but it chooses forgiveness. Now, this does not mean that wrongs don't matter where the hurt doesn't need to be acknowledged. Processing, apology, accountability, and real change are all a part of healing. What it does mean is that after resolution has been reached, love lets go of the ledger instead of keeping score. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It means love's rooted in truth. It always protects. It means love creates safety, physically, emotionally, spiritually. It shields the other from harm, gossip, neglect, and disloyalty. Always trusts. It means love gives the benefit of the doubt. Always hopes. It means love is forward-looking. Even in struggles, it holds on to the belief that tomorrow can be a better day. Always perseveres. Love doesn't quit when it's hard. It endures storms, disappointments, and challenges, not out of stubbornness, but out of a commitment to the covenant of marriage. Love never fails. Now, let's be clear. This doesn't mean that you will never fail. You will. It doesn't mean that your marriage will be without challenge. It won't. It doesn't mean the feelings of love will always be loud and passionate. Sometimes there'll be a whisper. Other times, it is statistically likely that it will be on life support. But real love, 1 Corinthians 13's definition of love, never quits. It doesn't give up. It doesn't walk away when it's tired. It doesn't keep score when things get hard. It doesn't say, I will love you if. It says, I will love you even when. Love never fails means that when everything else is shaken, finances, health, dreams, careers, love remains. When you argue, love listens. When you struggle, love carries. When you fall short, love restores. Modern America, social media, and even sometimes your friends and family will tell you that when your love stops working, it is time to move on. But the wisdom and truth found in 1 Corinthians 13 will tell you, love is the work. If you both commit to this kind of love, not a feeling, but a decision, then no matter what comes, you won't fail. So now, with that definition of love in your hearts and the weight of these words on your souls, let's make some vows. And I know you guys have prepared your vows, and I'm going to let you read those here in a minute. But I have prepared a single vow for each of you to say to the other. And it really encompasses everything that we've talked about for the last year. So, and I brought it. I brought it on a frame for us to sign together when we go back to sign your marriage license. And for you guys to hang in your home if you'd like to. Is this thing on? All right, Jackson. I'm going to start with you. I, Jaxon Macdonald.
I, Jaxon Macdonald.
Vow to choose to love you.
Vow to choose to love you.
Even on the hard days.
Even on the hard days.
When I'm madder at you than I've ever been at anyone in my whole life.
When I'm mad at you than I've been madder at anyone in my whole life.
And I wake up in the morning.
And
think.
think.
I cannot believe I married this crazy woman. I cannot believe I married this crazy woman.
I cannot believe I married this crazy woman.
I will still choose.
To
apply our definition of love.
To
our relationship.
Good
job. All right, Shayla. I, Shayla Nelson.
I, Shayla Nelson.
Vow to choose to love you.
Vow to choose to love you.
Even on the hard days.
Even on the hard days.
When I'm madder at you than I've ever been at anyone in my whole life.
When I'm madder at you than I've been at anyone in my whole life.
And I wake up in the morning.
And
think. I cannot believe I married this stupid man.
I cannot believe I married this stupid man.
I will still choose. To apply our definition of love.
To still apply our definition of love.
To our relationship.
All
right. I think you have something now, don't you?
Not as?
Yes, sir.